If you're tired of fighting with your camera, in order to get your colors to look right when you're making your videos, I've got a tool that you can use that will help you get it right every single time. It's called a color chart, and it makes color correction incredibly simple, but I never hear anyone talking about it. It's basically the secret to absolutely nailing your color every single time with just a few clicks. The only downside is that they can be pretty expensive. The one that I'm using here is about $70, but I promise you, once you use one, you will never go back to the guesswork. By the way, any products that I talk about in this video will have affiliate links down below that like button. This does not change the price for you at all, but using my links helps support the channel so that I can keep making videos like this one. But back to what I was saying. Before we get to how to use it, the easiest way to get good color is to capture good color from the start, and that is easier said than done. There are a lot of factors that will affect how the colors look in your video. First off, there's different camera types. Sony cameras tend to favor cooler, desaturated looks. Canon cameras tend to oversaturate reds and yellows. But then you've picked a camera, and then in your camera there are several specific settings that affect how colors will look when you record something. I use Sony cameras, specifically the a6700 for this particular video. Sony cameras have picture profiles. Picture profiles are different ways of capturing information with your camera. You can also adjust white balance in your camera, ranging from lower Kelvin temperatures, which are associated with warmer tones, and high Kelvin temperatures associated with cooler tones. But it isn't just your camera. You also have lights, but you have to make adjustments for what kind of lights you're using. For example, the light that I use allows you to set its temperature so that you adjust the Kelvin value, which pretty much means I can make it any color that I want. What I would do is I would set the temperature to the daylight temperature, which is somewhere around 5700 Kelvin, and then I would set my camera to 5700 Kelvin as well, and then I would record. Every NLE out there has different ways of dealing with color correction. I'm going to show you the method that I use in DaVinci Resolve. And here's how to use the color chart. Just hold it up in front of your face like this. Make sure the camera can see it. I usually like to move it back and forth a little bit so that I can make sure that I've got it every angle. And for this particular one, this side is facing me, and the big gray thing goes down, and that's how I know that I've got the colors in the right orientation, although you don't have to get the colors in the right orientation. All right, so now that we know how to use that, I'm going to select a frame where I can see the color chart and it looks good. I think probably right there. And I'm going to click on the color tab down on the bottom. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring me to the color tab with a bunch of different tools, but I'm at the exact same place in my timeline. Down here on the bottom, we can see our regular tools that we can use in the color tab. Like here's our primary color wheels, here's our HDR color wheels, and so on. But I'm going to click on this, which is color match. Now, somebody might look at this and say, all right, what do I do here? Do I just click on match? Let's try it. No, we do not just click match. So I'm going to hit Command Z or Control Z on Windows in order to undo that. We have to select a few things first. So number one, we have to know what color chart we're using. You select that right here with this little drop-down menu. I'm using the Datacolor Spider Checker 24. So as you can see, when I click that, all of these colors rearranged into a different position with like this weird blue-green in the top left, which you can see that's right here on the top left, and then pure black on the bottom right, white is on the bottom left, and this brown color is on the top right. So now maybe we can hit match. Nope, that still doesn't work. So Command Z to undo that. The next thing that we have to do is we have to adjust our source gamma. You have to know how you shot the video. I shot mine using S-Log3. So I'm going to click on source gamma, come down here to S-Log3. I'm not going to change anything else here. And now we're going to click match. And it still doesn't work. Well, why doesn't it work? This was driving me crazy when I first got it. Here's why it doesn't work. You have to come up here to this little button over here. It will usually have your qualifier right there. But if I click on this, I can come down to color chart, and it's going to put a little wireframe color chart on the screen. Now all I have to do is get this to match up with the color chart that I actually recorded in real life. So I zoom in and I'm going to put the top left corner on there. Then I'm going to click and hold with the mouse wheel in order to just pan around like that. Then I'm going to click the bottom one, drag it up here. We're going to grab this one over there. And now if I zoom in, I want to make sure that I get these all dead center, although you probably don't have to be nearly as fiddly as I'm being. I just like to make sure that I'm being precise. All right, now if I click, well, no, I'm not going to click match because source gamma is set to auto. I thought I set that to slog3, but maybe I clicked undo or something. Now if I click match, and let's hit zoom, and I can get rid of this, set that back to qualifier, you can see that my colors are looking pretty good now. Color correction is what I just did. I got everything to match the colors that I wanted. Now I'm going to do a quick color grade. So how do I do that? Well, over here in our grid, I have a node, and nodes can be a little bit confusing, but basically this is the signal at the beginning, this is the signal at the end, and I'm putting filters in the flow so that as the signal goes through those filters, it gets changed. So right now I have done my color correction. So I'm going to right click that, node label, color correction. Next, I want to adjust exposure. So I'm going to right click this. I'm going to come down to add node, and I'm going to do add serial node, or I can just push Option S in order to add a serial node in. This is going to be the next thing that I change. So this time I'm going to change exposure. So I'm going to label this exposure, and I'm going to go into my curves. And what I'm looking for here is I just want to make sure, just going to darken up the stuff in the background just a little bit, brighten up my highlights just a little bit. And I think that that looks pretty good. Next, I'm going to add in another serial node by pressing Option S. I believe that would be Alt S on a PC. And this is going to be for my skin tones. And then I'm going to right click here, add node, and I want to add a parallel node. I could just push Option P instead. So Option P adds in a parallel node. Basically what this is going to do is going to filter all of the skin colors with one filter and all of the non-skin colors with another filter. This will make me pop out from the background just a little bit. Let me show you how I do that. I'm going to come down here to the qualifier, and with the skin, actually, hold on, I gotta name this no skin, but I've got the skin node selected. I'm gonna click a part of my face. If I press Shift H, it's going to show me the colors that are being selected here. If I come down here to my little qualifier tools, I'm going to click on this button, which is pick or add, and I'm going to click another part of my face. And I'll keep clicking parts of my face to add in that color for my skin so that my skin is highlighted. All right, now that I have that, I'm going to click down here on the no skin, and I'm going to click on where, oh, it's over here. I'm going to click on my primary color wheels. All I'm going to do is grab the offset, and I'm going to drag down the overall color of the entire shot to be a little more blue. I'm going to really overdo it just so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so I really did that. I'm going to undo that, but now I'm just going to do a little bit, just a little bit. All right, now I'm going to click on the skin. I'm going to push Shift H to make it so that I can't see the mask, but if you look over here, you can still see that the mask is still doing its job. And now I'm going to take my skin tones and I'm going to make them a little more orangish. And what that does is it kind of separates me out from the back. So I'm going to turn this node off. You can see that I kind of blend in a little bit more with that. I'm going to turn this mode off. You can see that everything looks decent, but I think that this helps me pop out just a little bit more. And speaking of popping out just a little bit more, I'm going to click over here. This is basically where these two are getting mixed back together. And I'm going to press Alt S to put in another serial node. This time, I'm going to put a window on here. If I come down here to this right here, it's called a window. I click on it, and I'm going to select a circular window. I'm going to adjust that window so that it's bigger. And then I'm going to click on this red thing and pull it out. This adjusts the feathering of the window. Like that. And if I push Shift H, you can see what's happening here. Basically, I'm creating a mask, and everything that is visible is going to be adjusted by this mask. Only I want it to be the opposite of what it is right now, because what I'm trying to do is add a vignette so that I'm a little brighter than everything else around me. And so what I do is I'm going to come down here to this, and I'm going to click it. Now you can see the mask is going to basically make everything a little bit darker, except for what's hidden here. So now I am hidden, and I'm going to actually zoom out and just drag this down just a little bit more. All right, Z to go back to the regular scale. Now I'm going to hit Shift H to hide that. And now all I have to do is go to my curves, and right here in the middle, I'm just going to pull the midtones way down. And you can see that the sides just get a little bit darker, and overall that looks good. And I'm happy with this color grade. Now there's a couple of things that I can do at this point. Number one, I could save this for later. If you come over here to the gallery and I click on here, I can see my power grades. I can see other grades that I've done in the past that I've saved. Like here's one that I did for my friend Rich. Whoops. Here's one that I did for my friend Rich based on, he didn't have a color. I can't mouse over it, but it's the one right above my mouse. He didn't have a color card, so I had to do everything by hand, but then I saved it and then sent it to him as a LUT so that he could just use it. But if I want to save this, all I do is right click here and hit grab a still. And now it's right there in my power grade. So the next time that I want to use it, it's super easy to use. Let me go ahead and close that. So now you're probably looking at it and you're like, well, you have these other two clips here. Do you have to go through and do all of that work again for each of these clips? No, I absolutely don't. I'm just going to click on these two and then use my middle mouse button or my scroll wheel, and I click down and it copies all of the color grades across. Honestly, once you start using a color chart, it's going to take all of the guesswork out of getting your colors right. Yeah, it's $70 or a lot more than that if you buy one of the more expensive ones. I have links to a bunch of different priced ones down below. But it is a tool that you're going to use on every single video, and it will significantly speed up your work so you can make more videos faster. If you have a question, drop it in the comment section down below that like button. But now that we've nailed the look for our video, we want to make sure that the audio is right as well. And that's why you should check out this video next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.